5 against the Blue Jackets. The Game 7, 2 Game 7s against the Bruins. 4 Game 7s you've played now. Against, by the way, a Tampa team that has barely had any rest, considering that they went to the Cup final twice. Right? And they lost! Again! Like, what the fuck? How, bro, it's the same, it's been the same story for every Leafs fan every single season. It sucks. It sucks for them. And you, like, now, what did they do? Like, what was the excuse then? We just weren't good enough. John Tavares with the same, NPC quote. It's another lesson for us.
It was a lesson.
Another learning lesson.
No, but this is also the excuse.
It's the same shit every year, bro.
The excuse was, the Leafs played well, but they just got gold on Lefsky. Because remember, this is the whole, Campbell. This is because Jack Campbell played most of the game, right? But then this is like, Jack Campbell's playing Vasilevsky. Vasilevsky's just a better goaltender. So it's okay that the Leafs lost because, they just got outgoaled. And, that just happens in series. That was the whole excuse. But again, that couldn't have been an excuse. You can't just use that excuse. Okay, we played against Carey Price. Okay, we lost. Okay, we played against Korpisalo when he was part of the Blue Jackets. We lost. Okay, you can't just keep repeating the same excuse over and over and over again. And then in this series, we saw guys not really step up. And it was just a whole story of, guys not being able to score. They had issues, and it's just like, et cetera. And again, this is when Leaf fans were really annoyed now. Like, this got to the point now because we're in the bubble, the world wasn't locked up, okay? There's fans in the stands, you got Game 7 at home, it's not like you got Game 7 away at Kings Garden, okay? And they didn't show up. They scored one goal in Game 7 when it mattered most, and they had trouble scoring, and that's what it was. Then, they kept the core 4, they were like, we're just going to run this back for 2022-2023 season. And this is where the season where it was kind of different. The Leafs were looking great. They added a big fish, Ryan O'Reilly deadline. And Luke Schenn. Pretty sure this is the year that Schenn too, to help bolster that defensive support that everybody was saying they lacked. It's been the same thing since 2016. So they added Luke Schenn. They added Ryan O'Reilly to help with center depth, which we already had JT and Matthews. So we're like, this is like the best center depth we've ever seen in our life.
They added Jake McCabe as well.
Pardon?
They added Jake McCabe as well.
You're cutting out, bro. I don't know what you said, bro.
They added Jake McCabe as well.
Jake McCabe. And then dude, Leafs fans were like, this has got to be it now. Like, we already lost Tampa the first time, and then come playoff time, we knew we were playing Tampa again. And then this is just like the best series Leafs fans have ever seen since in 1967 when we won the cup. Like, we were like, oh my gosh, like, we actually did it. Like, we actually won. We were at our buddy's house. When JT scored, they finally call anything in a bottle. And it happened. Like, this team just felt so much more different. With Ryan O'Reilly, with JT, right? And we're like, dude, this is unbelievable. They won. I think it was like 3 straight overtime games. Which we created our own luck. That was one of the storylines. We have to create our own luck come playoff time. You have to cheap goals. That's just how we have to get done. And they finally did it. They were shooting, which they are afraid to shoot. But I remember strictly in that series, they were shooting the puck, floating it on net anywhere they were. They were shooting up. He was struggling a lot. And it just felt like, oh my gosh, like, we're in around 2. And a lot of Leafs fans would be like, well, if the Leafs get past the first round, they're going to make the final. And I was like, let's relax. Like, there's multiple we played before we even think about the final. So then this is where they played, they get through Tampa Bay, hype, Leafs fans going crazy, Leafs land insane. And then they got hit with the big reality check. They faced another Florida team in Florida Panthers. And this is where they just got absolutely shelled. I mean, just from start to finish. They lost, what was it, the first 3 games. They finally win Game 4. Leafs fans are like, well, maybe there's a comeback. That didn't happen because in Game 5, they lost. I think it was 3-2. In overtime, I think. I remember Radko Gudas just like shouted And I'm pretty sure Joseph Wolf spaced because our goalie, Jack Campbell, got hurt. And and then
it was Elias Samson
again,
the original goalie, but Jack Campbell's on the Oilers.
Oh yeah. But I just remember straight L's, bro. And then there was the excuse again. The same excuse. Oh well, Leafs made it. They made it past the first round. So we don't keep the same guys because we didn't win a cup. But I mean, we still progressed into the second round because there's still a little bit of they're playing better. Right. So season ends. You lose a massive piece in Ryan O'Reilly. He dipped. He was like, I don't want to be with these guys anymore. He went to Nash. Right. And then it's kind of like okay. Now we're getting tired of this. Leafs get shelled in round two. The guys are still here. It just seems like they're just having fun losing. And then last year now we're on. The Leafs are playing not great. Dude, last year, remember for a good from October to December, dude, they were not in a playoff spot. They were huddling, hovering around the wild card with the Detroit Red Wings. And there was questions like, okay, are the Leafs going to be playoffs? They kind of looking worried. Fans worried.
Yeah, I can remember that. So I remember I was talking to you. I was driving to work on my way back from school. And this is after we watched the Leafs on that Saturday before. This was like Thursday or something. Yeah. This is Saturday. I remember I went to St. Louis, and I watched the game against the Avalanche.
Yeah.
Where they were up 2-0, and then they lost. They blew that lead or whatever, right? No matter if it was 2-0, you shouldn't be blowing that game, especially when you were dominating the Colorado Avalanche in that game. The next night, they played the Detroit Red Wings at home. Keep in mind, this was also when the Red Wings had all those travel issues due to the snow, stuck at the airport all day, getting a bus from Buffalo all the way to Toronto to play this game. They didn't get to the arena until 5 o'clock.
It was 4 dude. It was an hour before puck drop. They finally no practice, didn't sleep,
no nothing. These men are on the bus coming back after all that travel just to get to the fucking arena to play these guys. The Leafs have another lead, and they blow it again in the final minute of the third period. Where Andrew Kopp, I remember it was him, scored the game winner, and the Detroit Red Wings beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-2. Where the Leafs were in a fucking wild card position at that point, and we were all talking, this has got to be the end of the road for Keefe. This is it. This got to be it. They had 2 days off, and then they were on a really, intense trip that takes you to Colorado, to Vegas, to Dallas, to Arizona, to St. Louis. It's not a fun road trip. Yeah. But this is where it all turns around. I'm pretty sure that's where they started to turn around. They beat the Avalanche. They beat the Golden Knights. They beat the Stars. They beat the Blues, and they beat the Coyotes. They were on a 5 or 6 game winning streak, if I can remember.
Hey, bro, that's exactly what they do, bro. They're like, it's like, okay, well, we'll just play down to our competition. Okay, they must slept in a day. Yeah, it's okay, we'll just lose to them. But then, let's just go on the road and play one of the top teams in the league. And, we'll just beat them in their own bar. Again, that's just the story of every season. And again, this is when the Leafs were mediocre. They were playing well. Team. They were just mediocre. It's gonna look like they were playing there, and it just felt like, dude, they were just sitting around exit. The way that they were playing, they just didn't feel they wanted. And then all of a sudden, start picking up wins. obviously Leaf media and Toronto's like, okay, now they're back. You know, they're obviously going to make the playoffs now. Which I mean, I always figured they were going to make the playoffs, but like I didn't think it was going to be a struggle. You know, then they eventually started playing more and more well. Finally started to, you know, pull away from the Detroit Red Wings, and then Leafs finally got into like, you know, the top three, and then the Red Wings started to fall off and then slide and, you know, push for that second wild card, which they didn't end up doing. Because, you know, the whole Capitals and the Flyers, et cetera. You know, and then the Leafs found out close to the end of the season as to who they were going to play. Determined to be the Boston Bruins. And then Leaf fans were like, okay, you know, 10 years after, 11 years after that whole disastrous ending, this got to be the time. You know, we're 0-3 against them 13 in playoff series. This got to be the time now. You know, look at our team now compared to 2017, 2018. You know, Matthew Nylander, JT, you know, McCabe, Riley. You know, it's like this got to be it now. And I mean, you can go back and watch. I mean, I don't want to watch. I'm tired of this.
I will gladly explain this for you. I will gladly explain this to the fans watching. So, on paper, before game 1 puck drop, I looked at the Leafs roster. I looked at the Bruins roster. 10, I'd say 9 or 10 times out of 10, I am taking the Toronto Maple Leafs roster. I would give the edge in goaltending to Swayman. Other than that, what does Boston have compared to the middle depth that the Toronto Maple Leafs have? Boston has Charlie Coyle as their first line center. Pavel Zacha on the second. Morgan Geekie on the third. Pat Maroon on the fourth. Whereas the Toronto Maple Leafs had 69 goal scorer Austin Matthews. Toronto Maple Leafs captain John Tavares. And David Camp on the fourth. I forget who was on the third. It could have been Yarncroke. I don't know who it was. But still, no Nylander. That's okay. You should still win these games. You should still win. Game 1. I remember we talked about this on another pod, but I'll keep it short. Shelled. Fucking brutal. They suck.
Sure.
5-1 win for the Bruins. Game 2. Beautiful way. They came out strong. Domi scored the first goal. Boston went up 2-1. Tavares put the team on his back in the second period, scored a nice goal. Austin Matthews took the game from the Bruins off that breakaway backhand forehand, bang, top cheddar. Toronto Maple Leafs are looking strong. You go back, tied 1-1, going back to Toronto knowing you're the better team. Game 3, another close game. It's tough, you lose, whatever. Game 4, worst game of the series. This is where we were questioning Marner's integrity, his heart, and we were wondering if he even cared about this team anymore.
Have you noticed the theme, bro? When they're up in the series, bro. When they mattered most, they're not there. It's just something in them. That's what it is. You know, because then it's 2-2, and then game 5. You know,
they're down. So they're down 3-1. They're down 3-1 in the series, heading into game 5. They strike a comeback. They play strong. They score the first goal. Boston gets the next one. Matthew Knies in overtime. Brings the series back to Toronto. Game 6. So, Game 6. You still hear me, right?
Leafs win.
Yep.
Leafs win.
This was Nylander's first game back, I believe, by the way.
From his concussion. Yeah. From his concussion. And then, he won.
Yeah, I don't think he played in Game 5. He might have. I can't recall. But Game 6, it was the William Nylander show, 0-0. 1 minute going into the third period left. Nylander throws the puck on net, scores. It's 1-0. Leafs had to play shutdown. Swayman was shutting the door on their side. Ilya Samsonov was shutting the door on their side. And then the Leafs get a break. What's that?
Joseph Wool was playing Game 6, and then he got injured in the final second, and then he couldn't play Game 7.
You're right. Joseph Wool played Game 6. He was shutting the door.
Yep.
And then with 2 minutes left, Boston Bruins are pressing. The Leafs clear it out. Matthew Knies with the pass. I remember we were also at everybody's house watching this game. Nylander on the breakaway. Forehand backhand. Scores. Scores. The Toronto Maple Leafs come back again from a 3-1 deficit against the Boston Bruins. And in Game 7, what a game. We were all at my house in the basement watching this game. I remember this so vividly because it was only 3 months ago, or 2 months ago, 3 months ago. We saw in the third period with 10 minutes left, Matthews, gets the puck. He passes it over to Nylander. Sauce. Bang! Scores! The Toronto Maple Leafs are up 1-0 in Game 7.
Like 10 minutes ago.
2 minutes
and
later.
Then it all capitulated.
Hampus Lindholm from the Bruins gets the puck and gets an easy goal on Samsonov because he found out that Joseph Wool was not going to play. Unfortunate, because he probably would have been the difference. It's tough.
Yeah, and then Samsonov was playing because Wool got injured in Game 6 in like the final couple seconds for a save he didn't even have to make. He pulled something. Samsonov came in for Game 7. I think it's tied 1-1 time. Or was it 0-0? Yeah, 1-1. Yeah, then Matthews scores to make it 2-1, and then a minute later, Lindholm just shoots it on net. Samsonov again, you gotta save that. But again, this is a theme throughout the year of like, okay, is Samsonov ready? Is he good enough? Obviously, he clearly wasn't. And then, it's 2-2, going to overtime. These fans are like, I was there. Like, this gotta be good. And then the famous Matt Marner checking behind him. Pass gets board play.
If we can remember. And it's Pasternak scores! Shadow Chris Cuthbert. David Pasternak and the Bruins.
Yeah.
Silence.
Then, that was the series, oh no! Then it happened.
The game that we all started because Justin, before that happened, just went, oh no! And then scores. It's over.
And then,
on my Instagram, that reaction, I put it in my highlights for hockey because that was awesome. I have that as a video. I gotta put that up on YouTube.
Yeah.
What a fucking game we watched. And the Leafs. Yeah. It's a really, really nice pattern, eh? Maybe just a little bit of this for the second round, and then we're back to normal.
Yeah, I know.
It's like a flat line throughout the entire, Matthews era. It's just been like this, bro.
Yeah.
It's fucking embarrassing.
But yeah.
So the Toronto
haven't you noticed
another series in the first round in Game 7. That's 1 against the Bruins. Actually, 3 against the Bruins. 1 against the Habs. 1 against the Lightning. And if you want to count Game 5 against the fucking Blue Jackets, that's 6 Game 7s that the Toronto Maple Leafs have lost in the Austin Matthews era. So, what do we expect from the boys next year with the arrival of Craig Berube, with the additions of OEL, Anthony Stolarz, Hakanpää, who else did they add? Chris Tanev.
Hakanpää might not play though.
Do we expect anything different? Could they do it? Or do they go play either the Bruins or Panthers, which we assume is going to be the case, and lose another first round? What do we expect? Something has to fucking change because it is embarrassing the fact that the Toronto Maple Leafs have still managed to not win 2 rounds in the entire Matthews era.
I'll tell you this. Go two ways. This could either go really sour, or this can go really good. This again. Next year, okay. If the Leafs don't do anything next year, the guys are going to make excuses. Oh, this is Berube's first season. Give him a season. 2026 is, you already know what's going to happen. But again, remember, this is a whole Marner saga still going because players, fans want him gone. Oh, some fans still want him. Oh, well, the front office couldn't find a trade partner. So this could get ugly from a player's perspective on whether, the locker room could even turn sour because now this is this whole situation of, Berube could try and, talk to Marner about, like, oh, we want you here. But the front office might be like, yeah, we don't really want you, but we really can't find a partner, so you'll still play for us. And now this could be a whole Marner situation of whether, remember, this is my last year of my contract, so I could just wait it out, do whatever I want, play well, but I don't want to get traded anyway, so I'll just stay here. So he could really sabotage the Leafs himself and be like, yeah, you're not trading me, you guys get me for nothing, and then leave next year, right? So again, this series is really interesting because now we have coach, we brought up some defensemen who, actually confident in our score. Oh, and again, at least four group is fine. Like have players, but it's nothing spectacular. And I think next year will, honestly, as a Leafs fan, I think it's going to be the exact same. I think we're going to have a good regular season. I think we'll be fine. And I think during the playoff time, I think we are going to struggle. We never justified our left wing position. We saw Matthew Knies and then a whole bunch of we don't know. So, we still have, Nick Robertson, maybe, if he wants to take the chance. Again, I'm not really high on Nick Robertson. Again, I think from a Leaf fan perspective, I think it's going to be the same next year. I think we'll be fine. Come playoff time, we're going to struggle again. Because what was the one thing throughout these years in playoffs? We need offense, okay? And what happened last year? Our offense got shut down. And you would think our general manager would help, getting us offense. And what did he do? Nothing. So, again, nothing has proven to me that we will change our ways from playoff time. So I am feeling another first-round exit for next year. And there will continue to be excuses being made. And, yeah. I think that's going to really be what's going to happen. Wow. Because, you can only adjust so many things come an off-season. The Leafs have been really shot themselves in the foot because they needed to address the goaltending. Defense and offense all in one off-season. Due to the fact because they decided to hold players like Joe Thorne, like Wayne Simmons, etc. Guys like Peter Mrazek, Michael Hutchinson, etc. It's actually thinking about the future. You know what I mean? Tried to sign Joe Thorne and play him on the first line in Canadian, where we could have just got someone younger. So again. They shot themselves in the foot. This is from years past. And again, I do not expect anything different. I love Craig Berube as a coach, but I don't think he can change everything that with all the issues that this team has. This team still has flaws. And again, they have not proven to me otherwise that they can do this come playoff time. I think they will be fine. They'll probably reach 90 to 100 points. Maybe challenge for the maybe get first in the Atlantic. Again, that doesn't really matter for playoff time. And it's going to be the same old story because nothing has changed.
Wow. I mean, when we make our playoffs predictions video next year, I better not see you put these guys beating whoever they play.
Depends who they add.
A lot can change depending on what happens in the regular season. We could see the Leafs absolutely demolish the Atlantic Division this year, or we could see them play like shit. Who knows?
True.
We don't know. What I think is going to happen, man, it's hard to say, but I honestly think they'll be a better team. They're going to be, I said this to many people outside of, let's say work or whatever, that Berube is going to get to Marner. We're going to see a different version of Mitch Marner. I truly believe he has no hatred towards the city. There's no way he wants to play bad for the city. There's no way. He grew up here. He's getting paid to play for his fucking hometown. He wants to do anything in his power to get better and listen to anyone who's willing to help. Berube will be that guy that will guide him. And we're going to see a different version of Mitch Marner this season. Okay? We're going to see Austin Matthews playing at the level. We're going to see Nylander take an even bigger step to what we saw.
Okay. More of a step for Nylander.
I think so. I think he's gonna probably challenge Honestly, I feel like Nylander will probably have the most points for this Leafs roster next year, whereas Matthews will be focusing on the goals. I think we're going to see Nylander coming in and getting a bunch of apples, especially if we're going to see them playing on the same line together, right? And as much as I hate to see Tavares, go down, I think he's not going to have a great season again.
Yeah.
Still feels like a decent player, but I think eventually Domi's going to work him and take that second line center spot. We're going to see Tavares move down the lineup. It's okay. It's last year of his contract. And I think these guys are going to grow together. Ruby's going to get the room together. Like, they got Domi. They got their guy who, they re-signed him. He loves playing for the city. They've got new defensemen. They got a whole defensive line. They got a guy who won the Stanley Cup in OEL and another backup goalie to help Wall. They've got a nice group of guys. I think they're going to be a good team. As for the playoffs, I'm not sure. Who knows? But for me, what they need to do, they need to win. If they don't want to blow anything up, they need to win one round. They need to win 2 rounds. A conference final is the minimum. It's the minimum. If they go out round 1, blow it up. If they go out in round 2, blow it up. If they go out in round 3, fair enough. And I'm saying that because it's only a matter of time before Austin Matthews has had enough losing in this city, and he ends up wanting to go to Arizona, or actually to Utah. And if he leaves, he's going to petition to bring hockey back to AZ, because that's where he's from. And we can see that happening, and especially because we see him and Clayton Keller go to UFC events together. So that could be something. They need to blow up this entire roster if they lose the first round again. Because you're going to tell me you've had Austin Matthews when he scored 60 goals, became the first Leaf to ever do so. You're going to tell me you didn't fucking win a playoff round when he scored 69 goals. You had a good defensive roster. You had Nylander having the best season of his life. He played his best games in games 6 and 7. He scored 3 goals in 2 games. You're telling me you're going into next season with a new coach, with all these players at their peak, in their prime. We have prime Matthews, prime Marner, prime Nylander. These guys are veterans now almost, man. It's nuts.
They're not getting younger.
You're going to tell me, with all the losses you've taken to the Bruins, to the Lightning, to the Habs, to the Florida Panthers, you played these guys multiple times now in the playoffs. You played them 4 times in the regular season. You're telling me, with this year, with your best players being at their prime, you can't beat 1 or 2 of them in a best of 7? If you can't, get the fuck out of here. Your team is getting blown the fuck up. We cannot have past this next upcoming season, none of this. If they lose in the second or first round, especially the first round, the entire board of directors would get fired. Shanahan would get fired. True Living would get fired. Berube probably will stay. Martin's gone. He's leaving for free. JT's gone. Captaincy's going to Matthews. And they're going to bring in new pieces. Something will change. Like I said, conference final, minimum conference final. If you do not if you go out game 7, round 2, and you play a really good game, okay, whatever. That's fair. Whatever, fine. You go out.
It's not fair.
And you,
it's not fair.
If you go out and get absolutely shelled in the second round, fuck off. Go. You're done. It's finished.
Go.
And if you lose round 1,
it's cooked. It's cooked.
It's done. It's cooked.
It's like, dude, we've already seen this movie like 8 times, five, six times. But again, they don't want to address the issue. Guys are not performing, and they are scared to do something about it. I don't understand. Like they have to watch last year's against Boston, and the front office is still like, okay, well, don't worry, the new coach will fix all this. Like there's still guys here on that team that are still going to be playing with us next year. Like how is that okay? Like how can you just be bad at your job and still have the job? Like how is that? Like. I honestly don't understand. And this is exactly why I don't feel like no change is coming to this team next year. Like we've seen it happen over and over again. What makes me believe, oh, it's gonna change next year all of a sudden? You know? That's why I don't like Ratcliffe at all. And I've mentioned this multiple times on the podcast. I don't rate him. Okay, he's not it. Okay, there's guys on this Leafs team that I don't rate at all. Just simply not it. And they've proven to me that they just certainly aren't in one the most. So again, next year, be a good regular season. I feel like will be great. You know, Leaf fans will be hyped. And then come playoff time when we gotta play. I don't know, maybe a Red Hot Detroit Red Wings team who are on the come up. You know, yeah. We don't see probably lose because of Duke. No Leaf should be excited or enthusiastic about this team moving forward. Like remember, we have Matthews, etc. Again, Marner's done. PT's done. How about our prospect pool? Like, let's not forget. In a couple of years, Matthews is also getting older. We're gonna also have to call up prospect guys in our prospect pool. Fraser Minton's still there, which is fine. Ethan Cowan's still there, which is fine. Dude, that's only two guys. Then that guy that Ben Bradford or whatever. Yeah. Okay. How about the rest of our prospect pool? Like, we don't really have much, to be honest. So again, I'm worried for the future a little bit, but I'm also worried about the future now. You know what I mean? So again, as a Leaf fan, it's hard. I'm not gonna get my hopes up because I've seen this happen. So yeah. I'm expecting the same thing next year until they prove me otherwise. You know?
Indeed, man. Indeed. I think that'll do it for this episode of the AJ Sports Podcast. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like, subscribe, tell all your friends. We are excited to see what this team will go through. I'm gonna watch. As a Habs fan, the Leafs still have a little place in my heart. I can't lie. It's always on Sportsnet every time I go on the TV. So I'm gonna be watching the season throughout because we're in Toronto. We're basically in the center of it. I go to school in Toronto. It's gonna be the talk of the season over here in TO. So we'll see what the Toronto Maple Leafs will do. Will they disappoint once again, or will they finally break through and do something magical? That is what we're going to have to wait and see. October 9th in Montreal against the Habs. They will play their first game. Might lose that game because it's in Montreal and it's the home opener. So we will see what happens there. But until then, we'll see you guys on the next one. And maybe the Leafs will do something special. We'll see you guys later.